Hello, hello. We are back with America Falls by Scott Medbury. Um this is I think it's 11 books, but it could be more. Um I bought the entire 11 book series on Audible while there was a sale going on a few weeks ago. And I have now finished 3 of the 11 books. So I have finished Hell Week, On the Run, and Cold Comfort. Um, I somewhat think that this is a young adult book. However, there are lots of really mature content in it. Um, and it's very real. So the book starts out following Isaac and his parents die in a fire and his siblings die with the parents, and so he's left orphaned. He goes to a foster home and it doesn't work out. Then he's sent to a second foster home, which is going great. And then I know, plague. I just talked about another dystopian plague, end of the world, but I guess I was in a mood. A plague, not really a plague, a virus is released by the Chinese government, which targets American adults. So they're apparently, there's a science behind it, and I'm probably going to butcher this, but um, there's a hormone that's released in your body when your growth plates haven't yet fused together, um, which is the main component in making sure that you're immune to the um, virus that's released by the Chinese government. And so basically, anyone over the age of like 17 years old died from this um, virus. And so only children are left and teenagers. And it's heartbreaking at points and times because you follow a group of older kids and you really don't see any children. And there's a reason for that. And they point it out, and it's heartbreaking because all of the adults locked up their houses and died in their house, and the children were just stuck in that house with their parents who died. Um, and so you can imagine what happens to children left unattended, neglected, uh, unable to care for themselves. They unfortunately do not make it. And so you follow a bunch of older kids, and their insane storyline. And I'm hooked. I will be finishing this entire series. So let's go ahead and read book one. It says, "No maze, no zombies, no games. It's Hell Week. America has fallen, and 97% of all grown-ups are dead or dying because anyone with Chinese heritage survived. So it was meant to target people that were not of Chinese descent. 15-year-old Isaac Race must lead a ragtag group of teen survivors and fight for their lives as the ground invasion of their country begins. They have one chance to survive. There are rumors of a place, a sanctuary, where they might be safe, but it's 3 states away. If Isaac and his friends are to survive the chaos of post apocalyptic America and make the perilous journey, they'll have to fight every step of the way and be prepared to do the things that would have been unthinkable just weeks before when they were ordinary school kids. Hell Week is the first installment of America Falls." So, yes, in the first book, you are really just world building, you're learning the characters. And there's a lot of different characters, so I'm not going to go through all of them. But some of the main characters are Isaac, clearly, he's the main character. Lucas, which is a school friend of Isaac. There's a few others, Ben and Brooke, which are twins from England who were visiting when the virus was released. There is Indigo, which is someone who gets saved in book 2. Um, Ava and Paul, which were later picked up in book 2 as well. And then there's, I know I'm missing one, Allie, who is picked up shortly around the time that Indigo's picked up. So they're kind of just taking people as they go. So they are trying to get from, I think they started in Pennsylvania, and they're trying to get to a different state. I can't remember where, Plymouth, wherever that's at. So they're trying to get to this sanctuary. They discovered a Morse code message, and so they're trying to get there. So book 2, you meet a new group of people. Oh, and by the way, they're running from Chinese soldiers who are rounding children up and making them into slaves. So they're painting this picture that, oh, we're gonna save all these children, so you're safe. Come with the Chinese government. You're safe. You're safe. And they're really just making them into slaves. So book 2, On the Run. The only adult in the group has been shot. So as they are moving, they run into a group, um, and their leader is Sunny, who is of Chinese descent, and so he is an adult. He is shot. So it says, can Isaac and Luke save Sunny? And if they can, how can they escape and get him and the rest of their group to safety? They have transport and a destination, but the gang of killers is closing in fast, not to mention the occupying forces armed to the teeth hunting down America's survivors. Whatever you do, don't miss the second action packed installment of American Falls. Okay, so they're in this town that is ran by two groups, which is Sunny's group, which they live in, like, Sunny was like a taekwondo instructor, so he has this academy for taekwondo, and he has a bunch of kids that he's overseeing, but he has a friend in the Chinese government who is against the Chinese government and who is helping them try to get to the sanctuary. So they have a truck, they have weapons, they have everything they need to get there. But there is a gang called the Red Tigers, and their leader is also an adult who is of Chinese descent. But in a run-in, Isaac killed the leader's younger brother, so they're in like a feud. So at the end of this book, they're in like this shoot off, and the Chinese government swoops in, and they're at the gates of the sanctuary, and the Chinese government swoops in, and they're in a fire. I mean, like, guns blazing. Luke is shot. Sonny's injured. Everything's bad. And then out of nowhere, the sanctuary guns down the helicopter that is about to literally take them all out, and they take them in. But when they take them into this sanctuary, they put bags over their heads and they beat Sunny because Sunny's Chinese, and they're like, they're really racist towards him. They call him racial slurs throughout this entire third book. So, book 3, Cold Comfort. Against the odds and despite the carnage of an unstoppable disease and relentless enemy, Isaac Race has delivered his group to safety. Or has he? Something is not quite right about the Drake Mountain facility, and it has nothing to do with the black bags over their heads or guns at their backs when they arrived. Now in safe haven they fought so hard to reach, they should feel secure. But all of them sense something is amiss. Each question answered only rises another, especially the question of why their friend Sunny was separated from them and locked up. They're about to get some answers they won't like. So Sunny is taken, and they're like, yeah, we're going to interrogate him before he can be released into general population, which all of them were interrogated, and all of them were then released into general population. The girls and the boys were separated, and you notice throughout, like, they pass each other in like passing and stuff, and one of them is pregnant, And they're like, how is she pregnant if they're not mixed together? Like, how'd that happen? What's going on? That's strange, right? They are under the control of a man named the Professor, who has a demonic sidekick named, I don't know, Rag or something, Mr. Rag. And it's Homeland Security that was working there before the virus was released. And so they have like everything they need to survive a virus because it's like airtight in there in the mountain. Um, anyways, they killed Sunny. Just really unfortunate. They actually changed the virus and then gave it to Sunny to make sure that it would work on Chinese people and then killed him. And then they had plans to release the virus and kill the rest of the Chinese government that were in the United States. It's like, let's fight fire with fire. So they try to escape, which they do escape. Um, a few of their group, because they like added more people as they went, which is where Paul and Ava come in, and Ava's the one that's pregnant. It turns out that they're impregnating them in a lab. What? Excuse me. They're babies. They're children. So, all fucked up, all messed up. So yeah, I'm on book 4, and they have successfully escaped, and they are trying to rebuild. I'm interested to see how things work out because the Chinese are dead or long gone. So I am very eager to continue listening, which I mean, I have like 40 hours left of the series. So it will be a while. So maybe next week I'll have like 2 or 3 more books to review. Anyways, I gave all of these books 4 stars. I guess I gave On the Run 3 stars. And not because they're not good, but because they're I just didn't I did not like the fact that in the second book and in the third book, he had so many opportunities to kill the bad guys and he didn't. And it bit him in the ass every time. And I just don't like that. I don't like a smart character. I don't like a dumb character. And I get it, they're children, but like he's killed several other people and he's watched several people be killed. So I don't understand why they're not killing the bad guys when they have like he's literally standing gun to this bad guy's head and he's like, you're gonna let me walk out of here. Bro, kill him. What do you mean? So that's like it's rage baiting me. So yeah, that's why I didn't give it a full 5 stars. Anyways, I 10 out of 10 recommend this series. I will let you know how it goes. Bye.